Hello students, welcome to the lecture on pricing strategy, and after the lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Define the concept of pricing, understand the pricing strategies and its types, understand the pricing objectives, describe the pricing methods, explain the factors affecting pricing. Let's start with a brief introduction to pricing strategies. One of the four major elements of the marketing mix is price. Pricing is an important strategic issue because it is related to product positioning. Furthermore, pricing affects other marketing mix elements such as product features, channel decisions, and promotion. While there is no single recipe to determine pricing, the following is a general sequence of steps that might be followed for developing the pricing of a new product. Develop market strategy. Make market mix decision. Estimate the demand curve, calculate cost, understand environmental factor, set pricing objectives, determining pricing. Let's discuss the concept of pricing. One important aspect of purchasing power parity (PPP) doctrine is its espousal of law of one price, that is, assuming one-way transport cost and tariffs. A HMT watch will be priced the same whether it is sold either in Mumbai or New York. But in the literature of international finance, two stylized facts are prominently mentioned. First, real exchange rate movements are seen to be very persistent at the aggregate level of the economy. Second, individual prices of traded commodities tend to be sticky in terms of local currency at the micro level. Engel has compared the relative prices of different commodities within the same country versus relative price of the same commodity across different countries, and he has reached the conclusion that the former measure is less variable in all but a few cases such as primary commodities and energy. Also, Engel finds that the second relative price tends to be more volatile in nature, and this proves that local prices in a given market remain comparatively stable. The open economy models of the Keynesian tradition incorporate price stickiness and thus explain the overshooting of the exchange rate. But Keynesians often do not discuss the price stickiness at the buyer's end, that is, in the currency of their destination. The price stickiness at the seller's end is discussed. The law of one price coming from the standard PPP theory cannot explain the degree of persistence that is observed in real exchange rate series. It is seen that real and nominal exchange rates move together both in the short and in the long run. The law of one price derived from PPP is used to explain the spatial arbitrage as nets of tariff and transport cost. The price of a traded commodity should be the same bought anywhere in the world. The law of one price has been subject to modifications, and one such is pricing to market (PTM). The latter allows corresponding prices to diverge across markets, favoring market segmentations, and thus it negates spatial arbitrage. Thus, across the country's economic barriers and structural rigidities persist, which makes the law of one price non-functional. Thus, when the US dollar had been appreciating in the early 1980s, Dornbusch observes export prices change little relative to domestic prices, even though there is no clear pattern of decline in all industries. By contrast, most import prices decline in terms of domestic goods, but the order of magnitude of the decline in import prices remains relatively small compared to the change in relative unit labor cost. With the change in unit labor costs of more than 40%, the decline in the relative price is in most cases less than 20%. This is not at all out of line with the theory once some degree of pricing to the American market is taken into account. When we allow the producers to price discriminate between local and foreign markets in the framework of the monetary model, it is possible to examine exchange rate pass-through and price to market behavior under the assumptions of market segmentation and relative price dynamics under nominal rigidities. In this framework, the structure of trade can be incorporated, and then it becomes possible to examine the cross-sectional implications of intersectorial versus intra-industry trade for microeconomic adjustment. We shall now talk about the pricing strategies. The only time when price setting is not a problem is when we are a price taker and has to set prices at the going rate or else sell nothing at all. This normally occurs under near-perfect market conditions, where products are almost identical. More usually, pricing decisions are among the most difficult that a business has to make. In considering these decisions, it is important to distinguish between pricing strategy and tactics. Strategy is concerned with setting prices for the first time, either for a new product or for an existing product in a new market. Tactics are about changing prices. Changes can be either self-initiated to improve profitability or as a means of promotion or in response to outside change, that is in cost or the prices of a competitor. Pricing strategy should be an integral part of the market positioning decision, which in turn depends to a great extent on overall business development strategy and marketing plans. Companies usually do not set a single price, but rather a pricing structure that reflects variations in geographical demand and cost, market segment requirements, purchase timing, order levels, delivery frequency, guarantees, service contracts, and other factors. As a result of discounts, allowances, and promotional support, a company rarely realizes the same profit from each unit of a product that it sells. Promotional pricing. Companies can use several pricing techniques to stimulate early purchase. Loss leader pricing. Supermarkets and departmental stores often drop the price on well-known brands to stimulate additional store traffic. This pays if the revenue on the additional sales compensates for the lower margins on the boss leader items. Manufacturers of loss leader brands typically object because this practice can dilute the brand image and bring complaints from retailers who charge the list price. Manufacturers have tried to restrain intermediaries from loss leader pricing through lobbying for retail price maintenance laws, but these laws have been revoked. Special event pricing. Sellers will establish special prices in certain seasons to draw in more customers. Cash rebates. Auto companies and other consumer goods companies offer cash rebates to encourage purchase of the manufacturer's products within a specified time period. Rebates can help clear inventories without cutting the stated list price. Low interest financing. Instead of cutting its price, the company can offer customers low interest financing. Automakers have even announced no interest financing to attract customers. Longer payment terms. Sellers, especially mortgage banks and auto companies, stretch loans over longer periods and thus lower the monthly payments. Consumers often worry less about the cost, that is, the interest rate of a loan, and more about whether they can afford the monthly payment. Did you know? The PPP exchange rate calculation is controversial because of the difficulties of finding comparable baskets of goods to compare purchasing power across countries. Let's now discuss the types of pricing strategy. A pricing strategy is more than the selection of an introductory price for a product or service. It is a roadmap that offers direction for making pricing decisions throughout the life of the brand. Ideally, pricing strategy should take into account consumer demand, competitive positioning, promotion strategy, the firm's revenue and profit goals, and the cost of production. There are three basic approaches to pricing strategy: price skimming, penetration pricing, status quo pricing. Price skimming. In price skimming, a product's price is set to exceed the price of most competitive brands and will generally reflect the highest level the market will bear. It is most often chosen when the product is new or when it offers features or benefits perceived as unique in the marketplace. Price skimming is frequently used by firms introducing innovative technologies. Over time, as competition increases and the novelty wears off, the high introductory price is often lowered considerably. This approach has been common in the computer and cell phone industries. Penetration pricing. This approach is the opposite of price skimming. The idea is to achieve deep market penetration by setting the product's price as low as possible, generally lower than comparable brands. Because penetration pricing means lower profits per unit, it is normally used in conjunction with a marketing strategy that is designed to quickly build high sales, volume, and market share. It can also be effective in discouraging competition, at least in the short term. Status quo pricing. Status quo pricing aims to match or closely approximate the price charged by major competitors. It is frequently used by retailers offering essentially the same product array as other nearby stores. For a small firm with a product that is neither new nor unique, status quo pricing is a low-risk option. Moving on further, let's discuss the pricing objectives and the strategies. The task of the marketing manager is to decide the objectives of pricing before he determines the price itself. Pricing objectives provide guidance to decision makers in formulating price policies, planning pricing strategies, and setting actual prices. The most important objective of the companies is to have maximum profits. Pricing objectives. It is necessary that the marketing manager decide the objective of pricing before actually setting price. According to experts, pricing objectives are the overall goals that describe the role of the piece of the price in organization long-range plans. The objectives help the marketing manager as guidelines to develop marketing strategies. The following are the important pricing objectives: market penetration, market skimming, target rate of return, price stabilization, meet or fellow, competition, market share, profits maximization, cash flow, product line promotion, survival, market penetration. Objective. In the initial stages of entering the market, the entrepreneurs may set a relatively low price. This is mainly to secure a large share of the market. In a highly price-sensitive market, the businessman may continue to sell his products even without profit. He is interested in growth rather than in making a profit. In the market penetration objective, the unit cost of production and distribution will decrease when the volume of sales attain a particular target. Market skimming objective. Market skimming means utilizing the opportunities in the market to reap the benefits of high sales, increased profits, and low unit costs. Some of the entrepreneurs study the buyer's needs and try to provide the suitable goods but charge them high prices. This objective is realized in those markets where the magnitude of competition is very low. The entrepreneurs in this situation make profits over a short period. The market skimming objective would not be meaningful, but when the consumer refuses to purchase the goods at the prices fixed by the producers. Target rate of return objective. Rate of return is normally measured in relation to investment and sales. The producers enjoying some protection may prefer to earn a target rate on investment. This would be possible where the entrepreneur enjoys a franchise or a monopolistic situation. But in the long run, every businessman attempts to secure an adequate return on investment through price setting.
The quality of the product is interpreted by consumers according to the level of the item's price. Consumers are sometimes shy away from purchasing a product when no printed price schedule is available. Emphasis on monthly costs of purchasing an expensive item often result in greater sales than a total selling price. Most buyer expects to pay even-numbered prices for prestigious items and odd-numbered prices on commonly available goods. The greater the number of meaningful customer benefits the seller about a given product, the less the price resistance.
Some of these pricing strategies are penetration pricing from increased sales, optional pricing, maximize its turnover, premium pricing, high price set, competition pricing, lower same or higher price, value pricing, final pricing decision, bundle pricing, group of products to reduce price, skimming pricing, initial high price then lowers to make product available to a wider market. Pricing is important in marketing shares, helps the market brands to make more money, and it helps business can improve the price of their products.
Okay, I'm going to break down the five main pricing strategies. First is price skimming. Price skimming is used in the introductory stage of a product to initially set a high price in order to recover production and advertising cost. The extra money is then reinvested into more product. There must be a high demand for a product when a price skimming strategy is used. The second strategy is penetration pricing. This strategy sets the prices below competitors' prices. It allows quick gains in the market share and is used in the introductory stage of the product. The next one is consumer pricing. It's a strategy used during the growth stage of the product. A combination of penetration and competitive pricing is used. The outcome also depends on the number of potential competitors and the size of the total market. The next one is demand-oriented pricing. It's a flexible strategy that bases pricing decisions on the demand level of the product. It is used in the maturity stage of the product's development. Sales decline and consumers are price sensitive at this stage. The last strategy is loss leader pricing. It's used in the decline stage of the product, and the product's prices are below cost to attract customers. Low prices are used to bring in customers.
Factors affecting the price of the product: the degree of competitive pressure, the availability of sufficient supply, seasonal or cyclical changes in demand, distribution costs, product's life cycle stage, changes in production costs, and also prevailing economic markets buying power. There are also some psychological considerations in nature. The quality interpreted by customers according to the price. Customers shy away when price is not visible on item. It is also better to show monthly cost in high-price items than to show total selling price. Buyers expect to pay even-numbered prices for quality items and odd numbers for commonly available goods.
Let's discuss the pricing methods. The use of a specific type of information on prices to represent the evolution of price in price index compilation. The specific type of information specifies the method. As this sounds quite abstract, an example is informative. The unit value method is the use of income divided by quantities sold as price information in price index calculation. The ideal pricing method is transaction pricing, which is the use of actually paid prices of individual transactions that are repeated in every survey period. Price index theory is built on the assumption that this ideal pricing method is used or sufficiently approximated. However, pricing methods in practice, and especially in that of SPPI, stray from this ideal. The closer a pricing method is to transaction pricing, the better. Therefore, a pricing method can be rated according to how it compares to transaction pricing. Pricing mechanism is a limiting condition for the satisfaction in his options for choosing a pricing method. Pricing methods are therefore downstream from pricing mechanisms. Pricing mechanisms are in turn downstream from the nature of the product. A pricing method is solely concerned with what type of data is used to measure or estimate the evolution of prices. These issues do not convey difficulties that are specific for services, so they do not deviate from standard practice of manufacturing. Pricing method is also not concerned with preceding phases in SPPI development when the goal regarding coverage of the SPPI is decided, like in or exclusion of subcontracting taxes, subsidies, import and export. The types of pricing methods. In product pricing, we have to make a decision what kind of a pricing strategy are you going for. The strategy of choice depends quite a lot on product itself and its competitors. Expensive pricing. People generally have a pretty good idea what is cheap and what is expensive. If we are going for expensive pricing, our product has to feel expensive. Our role here is to increase its perceived value. Packaging and design. Every high-priced item one buys comes in a fancy box. Product has to look expensive. We can do this also with digital products. Just spend time on some high-end products websites and take note of what makes that website look expensive. Start with making our website look expensive and make our product look fancy too. When it comes to information products, then PDF e-books will always seem cheap. Everybody knows how to create a PDF document, and no, it does not take much. We recommend against it. Online courses, e-learning environments and information products, shipped physical media DVDs will always seem more valuable. Format. Product differentiation. Do not be like most products in a category. Repackage it into a different format, one that no one else is using. For instance, if everyone else is selling ebooks on topic, do product in video. Video products always look higher class compared to text-only products. Cheap pricing can sometimes be better. The most proven pricing strategy in a competitive market is doing it cheaper than others. People like to get stuff cheap. This is the best strategy to choose if our product is very similar to the others in the market. Cheap product pricing does not necessarily mean that we have to be the cheapest in the market. Testing a higher than average price for a product is a good thing to do. If we test a higher price and it brings in the same number of responses as the lower price, we immediately increase profits. Generally, higher price should reduce the number of sales. The theory of market elasticity says that the number of sales will go down when the price goes up and vice versa. The question is, by how much? If it is just a modest decrease, we will do better at a higher price because we will generate more profit and possibly bring in higher quality clients that will spend more money later. If we make the price too high, our sales will drop precipitously to a point where we are bringing in too few new customers to maintain cash flow. This is usually easy to notice and fix. When we enter an existing market with a product that is not significantly different or better than the competitive products, the market experience is that we usually find more success when selling the product at a discount. When there is an established price for the same type of product, then it is easy for the customers to figure out what is the average price. If we can sell at a significantly cheaper price, we can sometimes enjoy a very strong response. Other methods of pricing. There are other pricing methods which may be used by operators depending on the individual operation, and some may use a mixture of a number of methods. Forward pricing. The marketer will calculate the total cost of the ingredients and then add additional money as the gross profit. This is often expressed as a percentage and referred to as the gross margin, and similar groups of products, example all starters, will often have a similar percentage of profit applied to them in order to ensure that an overall gross profit target is achievable. Backward pricing. Backward pricing is used when the marketer has an idea of what the market will pay and has an idea of the amount of gross profit required. This allows them to perform a calculation which will give a value for the amount of money which can be spent on ingredients. This is often used when pricing products on a competitive basis. We shall now discuss the factors affecting pricing. Having a pricing objective is not enough. A firm also has to look at a myriad of other factors before setting its prices. Those factors include the offering's cost, the demand, the customers whose needs it is designed to meet, the external environment, such as the competition, the economy, and government regulations, and other aspects of the marketing mix, such as the nature of the offering, the current stage of its product life cycle, and its promotion and distribution. If a company plans to sell its products or services in international markets, research on the factors for each market must be analyzed before setting prices. Organizations must understand buyers, competitors, the economic conditions, and the political regulations in other markets before they can compete successfully. Did you know? One of the most famous price-fixing schemes involved Robert Crandall, the CEO of American Airlines, in the early 1990s. Now, in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Geographical pricing involves the company in deciding how to price its products to different customers in different locations and countries. Supermarkets and departmental stores often drop the price on well-known brands to stimulate additional store traffic. Companies often adjust their basic price to accommodate differences in customers, products, locations, and so on. Pricing factors are manufacturing cost, marketplace, competition, market condition, and quality of product. Backward pricing is used when the marketeer has an idea of what the market will pay and has an idea of the amount of gross profit required. Price elasticity or people's sensitivity to price changes affects the demand for products. Think about a pair of sweatpants with an elastic waist.